Welcome back, you relentless truth seekers. You beautiful, unstoppable forces who refuse to stay quiet. You glorious anomalies who kept digging when everyone told you to stop looking. They thought they buried it deep enough. They thought their secrets were safe in the darkness, wrapped in layers of lies and convenient narratives. They thought you'd never connect the dots, never see the pattern, never realize what they did in the shadows while smiling in the light. But you did. You found out. And now they're absolutely terrified because you didn't just discover their secrets. You came back with receipts, with evidence, with proof so undeniable it makes their carefully constructed facade crumble like ancient ruins. You didn't just catch them in a lie. You brought the entire blueprint of their deception, time-stamped, documented, backed up in 3 different cloud servers, because you learned never to trust a single source. And that shovel, that's not for burying the past. That's for digging up every last piece of truth they tried to hide. Listen, they had a plan for you. They really did. They thought if they kept you confused enough, distracted enough, gaslit enough, you'd eventually give up. They thought if they made you question your own memory, your own perception, your own sanity, you'd stop searching for answers. They deployed every tactic in the manipulation handbook. The silent treatment to make you desperate, the fake apologies to buy more time, the crocodile tears to make you feel guilty for even asking questions, the projection, making you defend yourself for crimes they committed. They turned your friends into informants, your questions into accusations, your truth into paranoia. They built an entire false reality around you, hoping you'd accept their version of events and move on like a good little puppet. But you didn't. You kept that tiny flame of suspicion burning in your gut, that feeling that something wasn't right, that whisper in your soul that said, "They're lying, keep digging." And now here we are. You've got the messages they thought were deleted, the screenshots they didn't know existed, the witness testimonies from people who finally found the courage to speak, the timeline that proves their alibi was fabricated, the receipts that show where the money really went, the evidence that destroys their entire narrative in one devastating blow. They're watching you now with pure panic in their eyes, aren't they? Because they thought you were done. They thought you moved on. They thought you were weak enough to let it go, soft enough to forgive without accountability, naive enough to believe their revised stories and convenient excuses. They celebrated too early. They got comfortable in their lies. They stopped covering their tracks because they genuinely believed you'd never look this deep. Fatal mistake. Because you weren't just looking. You were excavating. You were reconstructing. You were building a case so airtight even their best lawyers couldn't find a crack in it. You know what's beautiful about this moment? You're not doing it for revenge. Sure, there's satisfaction in watching liars squirm when the truth finally catches up. But that's not what drives you anymore. You're doing this for closure, for validation. For every moment they made you feel crazy for trusting your instincts. For every time they made you apologize for asking legitimate questions. For every sleepless night you spent wondering if maybe you were the problem. If maybe your perception was broken. If maybe you were remembering things wrong. You're doing this because the truth matters. Because lies have consequences. Because people who manipulate others into questioning their own reality deserve to face what they've done. You're not seeking destruction. You're demanding accountability. And that's what makes you dangerous to them. Because revenge is emotional, impulsive, easy to dismiss as bitterness. But accountability? Accountability backed by evidence? That's a reckoning they can't escape. Let's talk about that moment when you first realized something was off. You remember it, don't you? That specific instant when their story didn't quite match the facts. When their timeline had a gap they couldn't explain. When their emotions seemed performative rather than genuine. When you asked a simple question and their response was way too defensive, way too elaborate, way too rehearsed. Most people ignore that moment. They push it down. They accept the explanation because confronting the truth is terrifying. But not you. You held on to that thread. You started pulling gently at first, then harder when you felt resistance. You started paying attention to the inconsistencies, the way their story changed slightly each time they told it, the details that appeared and disappeared, the people who suddenly couldn't remember key events, the convenient excuses that stacked too perfectly. You started keeping notes, documenting dates, saving conversations, building a mental map of their deceptions. And slowly, piece by piece, the real picture emerged from behind their carefully painted facade. They tried to stop you, didn't they? Oh, they tried everything. First came the gaslighting. You're overthinking this. You're being paranoid. You're creating problems that don't exist. You're remembering it wrong. That's not what happened. You're twisting my words. You're too sensitive. You're looking for reasons to be upset. They tried to make you doubt your own mind, your own perception, your own memory. When that didn't work, they switched tactics. They tried distraction. Suddenly they were extra nice, extra attentive, throwing you breadcrumbs of affection to keep you from digging deeper, love bombing you back into compliance, making grand gestures to overshadow your questions, creating new drama to shift your focus. When distraction failed, they tried isolation. They started poisoning your relationships, planting seeds of doubt about you in other people's minds, making you look unstable, obsessive, difficult, cutting you off from anyone who might validate your concerns or help you see clearly. And when isolation didn't break you, that's when they got desperate. That's when the threats started. Subtle at first. You're going to regret this. You're going to destroy everything. You're going to push everyone away. Then more direct. Legal threats, social threats, professional threats, anything to make you stop looking. But here's what they miscalculated. Every tactic they used, every lie they told, every manipulation they deployed, it didn't break your resolve. It strengthened it, because each desperate move they made was more evidence, more proof that you were onto something real. If you were really crazy, really paranoid, really wrong, they wouldn't need to work this hard to stop you. The truth doesn't fear investigation. Only lies do. So you kept going. Quieter now. Smarter. You stopped announcing your discoveries. You stopped confronting them with each new piece of evidence. You learned the most powerful strategy of all. Silence. You let them think they'd won. You let them believe you'd given up. Moved on. Accepted their version of reality. And while they celebrated their supposed victory, while they let their guard down and got sloppy, you were in the background, collecting, documenting, verifying every single piece of the puzzle they thought they'd destroyed. And now you've got it all. The full picture, the complete timeline, the undeniable proof. You've got the evidence they swore didn't exist, the conversations they claimed never happened, the actions they insisted you imagined, the pattern they said you fabricated. You've got witness statements from people who saw what really happened, financial records that prove where resources actually went, digital footprints they forgot could be recovered, metadata that establishes exact dates and times, third-party verification that confirms your version of events. You've got it all organized, cross-referenced, backed up in multiple secure locations. You've built a case so thorough, so comprehensive, so bulletproof, that there's no wiggle room left for their excuses, no space for their revised narratives, no opportunity for them to twist the facts one more time. You didn't just catch them in a lie. You exposed the entire system of deception they built over months or years. Look at them now. Watch how they're scrambling, the panic in their eyes when they realize you know, the desperate attempts to get ahead of the story, the sudden urge to clear the air now that they know the truth is coming out, the fake accountability that sounds like "I'm sorry you feel that way" instead of "I'm sorry I did that," the blame shifting that tries to make this about your methods instead of their actions. How could you go through my things? How could you talk to those people? How could you not trust me? Notice how they're making your discovery of their lies into a bigger offense than the lies themselves. That's the last refuge of someone who's been caught and has no legitimate defense. They can't dispute the facts, so they attack the process. They can't deny what they did, so they question how you found out. They can't defend their actions, so they make you the villain for exposing them. But you're not falling for that anymore, are you? You've learned to recognize every manipulation tactic in their playbook. You know when they're deflecting. You know when they're minimizing. You know when they're trying to flip the script and make themselves the victim. You know when they're testing to see how much you actually know before deciding which version of the truth to tell. You've become fluent in the language of deception, not because you speak it, but because you've had to defend against it for so long. And that fluency makes you immune to their games now. They can't confuse you with word salad. They can't distract you with emotional performances. They can't guilt you into accepting partial truths. They can't intimidate you into silence. Because you're not operating from emotion anymore. You're operating from evidence, from facts, from documented reality that exists independent of their spin. Let's talk about what happens next. Because this is where most people freeze. They get the evidence. They have the proof. They know the truth. And then they don't know what to do with it. Fear creeps in. Doubt whispers. What if using this makes me look vindictive? What if people think I'm obsessed? What if they turn it around on me somehow? What if exposing them destroys my own peace? These are valid concerns. But here's what you need to understand. The truth is not a weapon you're wielding against them. The truth is a shield protecting you from their ongoing manipulation. You're not exposing them to hurt them. You're exposing them to stop them from continuing to hurt you and potentially others. You're not being vindictive. You're being accurate. There's a massive difference between revenge and accountability. Revenge is about making someone suffer. Accountability is about making someone face the consequences of their choices. So, what do you do with all this evidence? That depends on your goal. If your goal is healing and closure, sometimes simply knowing the truth is enough. Having your perception validated, knowing you weren't crazy, weren't paranoid, weren't imagining things. Sometimes the evidence is for you to free yourself from the gaslighting, to trust your instincts again. If your goal is protecting yourself legally, financially, or socially, then strategic disclosure might be necessary. Sharing the evidence with the people who need to know, with legal representatives if there are legal implications. with mutual connections if your reputation has been damaged, with future potential victims if there's a pattern of harmful behavior. If your goal is justice, then formal channels might be appropriate. Reports to authorities, complaints to oversight bodies, legal action when laws have been broken. But here's the crucial part. Whatever you choose to do with the evidence, you do it from a place of clarity, not chaos. You do it strategically, not impulsively. You do it when you're ready, not when you're triggered. They're going to try one last manipulation when they realize the jig is up. They're going to try to make a deal. Let's just both move forward. Let's not drag this out. Let's keep this between us. Think about how this will affect everyone else. Think about your own reputation. Think about how you'll look if you expose this. You'll seem bitter. You'll seem unable to let go. People will think you're the problem. Listen carefully. This is not concern for you. This is concern for them. They want you to protect their reputation while they destroyed yours. They want you to keep their secrets while they shared your private moments. They want you to show them mercy they never showed you. And you might choose mercy. Not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. But if you choose mercy, let it be your choice, not their manipulation. Let it be because you've decided that your energy is better spent building your future than exposing their past. Not because they convinced you that telling the truth makes you the bad guy. Here's what they never understood about you. They thought your kindness was weakness. They thought your patience was naivety. They thought your forgiveness was permission to repeat the offense. They thought your trust was blindness. They thought wrong about everything. Your kindness was strength under control. Your patience was strategy in action. Your forgiveness was a gift they abused. Your trust was a test they failed spectacularly. And now that you've removed all those things they took for granted, now that you've rebuilt your boundaries with reinforced steel instead of paper, now that you've learned to trust your instincts over their explanations, they're seeing who you actually are for the first time, and it terrifies them. Because the person who discovers they've been manipulated and responds with cold, calculated clarity instead of hot, emotional chaos, that person is formidable. That person can't be controlled anymore. That person has evolved beyond their reach. You know what's funny? They're probably telling people right now that you've changed, that you're not the same person you used to be, that you've become cold, distant, different. And they're absolutely right. You have changed. You're not the person who accepted breadcrumbs and called it a meal. You're not the person who apologized for other people's disrespect. You're not the person who shrunk to make others comfortable. You're not the person who stayed silent to keep the peace. You changed the moment you decided that truth matters more than their comfort. You changed the moment you chose your sanity over their narrative. You changed the moment you started trusting evidence over excuses. And that change, that's not something to mourn. That's something to celebrate. Because you didn't become worse. You became wise. You didn't become bitter. You became boundaries. You didn't become cold. You became clear. Let me tell you what's happening in their world right now. Pure panic. They're doing damage control at light speed, calling people who might have information, testing different versions of the story to see which one people accept, trying to figure out exactly how much you know before they decide how much to admit, reaching out to mutual friends to get ahead of the narrative, posting vague social media messages about fake friends and people who betray trust. suddenly becoming very interested in your life again after months or years of distance. This frantic energy, it's not about making things right. It's about minimizing consequences. They're not worried about the harm they caused you. They're worried about the exposure they're facing. They're not concerned with truth and reconciliation. They're concerned with reputation management and damage control. Watch how quickly their story changes as they realize how much evidence you have. Watch how the "it never happened" becomes "it wasn't that bad," becomes "you're taking it out of context," becomes "I'm sorry you feel that way." And you know what the most powerful move is right now? Silence. Not the silence of weakness, the silence of strength, the silence of someone who has nothing to prove because the evidence speaks for itself, the silence of someone who has moved from defending their truth to simply living it. They're going to try everything to get you to react, to engage, to argue, to defend, to explain, because as long as you're reacting, they can control the narrative. They can make it about your response instead of their actions. They can point to your emotion and use it to discredit your evidence. But when you stay silent, when you let the facts stand on their own, when you refuse to be drawn into circular arguments and manipulation games, that's when you're truly untouchable. That's when they realize they've lost all power over you. That's when they understand that you're not playing their game anymore because you've already won. Here's what victory looks like in this situation. Victory is not them finally admitting everything and apologizing sincerely. That might never happen. Manipulators rarely take full accountability even when caught red-handed. Victory is not everyone believing you and ostracizing them. Some people will always choose the more comfortable lie over the inconvenient truth. Victory is not them suffering consequences equal to the pain they caused you. The universe doesn't work on exact mathematical justice. Victory is you, standing in your truth, with your sanity intact, your instincts validated, and your future no longer contaminated by their lies. Victory is you, knowing what happened, having evidence if you need it, and being free from the gaslighting that made you question everything. Victory is you, rebuilding your life on a foundation of truth instead of manipulation. Victory is you, trusting yourself again, trusting your gut, trusting your perception, trusting your boundaries. Victory is you, finally free. And about that shovel you brought back with you, that's not just about digging up their buried secrets. That's about doing the work they refuse to do. The work of facing truth instead of running from it. The work of accountability instead of denial. The work of authentic healing instead of performative change. They could have picked up that shovel at any point. They could have done the work of being honest, of taking responsibility, of making genuine amends, of changing the behavior instead of just apologizing for getting caught. But they didn't. They chose to keep digging themselves deeper into lies. So now you're using that shovel to unearth what they tried to hide, not to bury them, to free yourself from their fiction, to reclaim your reality, to restore your story from their revisionist history. Listen. You're going to have moments where you question whether this was all worth it. Moments where you wonder if maybe you should have just let it go. Moments where the peace of ignorance seems more appealing than the weight of knowledge. Those moments are normal. Truth is heavy sometimes. Reality can be painful. Seeing people you cared about in their full, unfiltered ugliness is heartbreaking. But I need you to remember something in those moments. The peace you would have had without this knowledge wasn't real peace. It was just the absence of conflict built on the presence of lies. Real peace comes from standing in truth even when it's uncomfortable. Real peace comes from trusting yourself even when others gaslight you. Real peace comes from knowing reality and building your life on that solid foundation instead of their shifting sands. What you have now might feel heavy, but it's real. And real, even when heavy, is always better than fake. The past, oh, it loves to whisper, doesn't it? A seductive little voice slithering through your skull. Come back, just one more time. It begs, pleads, crawls on its knees like a desperate lover, hands outstretched, nails clawing at your ankles. And you almost listen, almost turn around, almost fall for it again. But tell me, when's the last time the past ever did you a favor? When's the last time it reached out and pulled you forward instead of dragging you back into the dirt? It doesn't want to help you. No, no, no. It wants to own you, chain you to old mistakes, wrap you in the stench of regret, and make you wear it like perfume. People love to pretend the past is some wise old teacher, but the truth, it's a graveyard. And the dead? Oh, the dead should stay buried. But you keep digging, don't you? Shovel in hand, sweat dripping, dirt under your nails as you claw through the rotting memories, hoping, praying, that maybe, just maybe, there's something worth saving. But all you'll find are bones. The past is a corpse, my dear, cold, unforgiving, and yet you keep trying to bring it back to life. But tell me, when's the last time a ghost ever helped the living? They carry the past like a corpse strapped to their backs, rotten, heavy, useless, yet they refuse to let go. Dragging it through the dirt, whispering its name, kissing its decayed lips like it's still alive. Pathetic. They don't realize. The past is a graveyard, and the dead don't belong among the living. But, oh, people love their ghosts, don't they? They build shrines to old wounds, light candles for betrayals, pray at the altar of their worst mistakes. Why? Why worship the very thing that broke you? Why keep feeding a fire that burned you to ash? Let it die. Let it rot. Let it sink into the earth where it belongs. Me? Oh, I say bury it. Deep. No tombstone, no flowers, no weepy little eulogies about what could have been. What could have been? Ha! That's the biggest joke of all. The past is nothing but a corpse in fancy clothes, a lifeless thing pretending it still matters. But dead is dead, darling, and the only ones who suffer are the fools who refuse to move on. You think carrying the past makes you stronger, that reliving the pain somehow builds you up? Nah, it only makes you slower, heavier, weaker. The ones who win in this game, they're the ones who know when to cut the rope, when to drop the dead weight and leave it to rot. But you? Oh, you're still holding on, still digging through the wreckage, hoping to find some broken little piece of yourself worth saving. But tell me, have you ever found anything good in the wreckage? No? Then why the hell are you still looking? Oh, nostalgia. That sweet little serpent. It slithers up your spine, whispers in your ear, drapes its arms around you like an old lover, tells you to remember the good old days. But tell me, were they really that good? Or is your mind just painting over the cracks, covering the bloodstains with a fresh coat of denial? Funny, isn't it? How the past dresses itself up all pretty. A little makeup here, a little perfume there, but underneath, it's the same rotting corpse. The same heartbreak, the same betrayals, the same gut-wrenching mistakes you swore you'd never repeat. But nostalgia? Oh, it's a clever little liar. It hides the scars, polishes the chains, and calls them gold. You think back to them, don't you? The ones who left, the ones who hurt you. You remember the warmth, the laughter, the late-night whispers that made you feel alive. But what about the silence after? The cold, empty space they left behind? Or have you conveniently forgotten how they walked away while you bled out on the floor? People love to rewrite history, turn agony into poetry, pretend the ones who broke them were just misunderstood, that maybe, just maybe, things could have been different. Newsflash, they weren't. If they wanted to stay, they would have. If the past was meant to be relived, you'd still be there. But you're not, and that should tell you everything. But go on, keep playing the fool, keep replaying the same old story, expecting a different ending. Keep crawling back to the same hands that let you fall. Keep dancing with the ghosts who already buried you once. Just don't come crying when they do it again. Regret, now that's a funny little parasite. Latches onto your mind, sinks its teeth in and whispers, "You should have done this. You shouldn't have said that. Maybe if you had just, but there it is, that wicked little word, maybe. The great illusion, the ghost that haunts you, keeps you pacing the same damn hallway, reaching for doors that don't exist. It wraps around your throat like a noose, tight, unforgiving. Every mistake, every misstep, every damn second you wish you could rewrite, it all plays on a loop, doesn't it? You see the faces, you hear the words, you feel the weight of every wrong turn pressing against your ribs like a tombstone, and the worst part, you let it. They told you regret means you care, that it means you have a conscience, that you've learned something. Lies. Regret is a prison, a cage built from what-ifs and could-have-beens, a never-ending game where the rules are rigged against you, where no matter how many times you replay the past in your head, nothing ever changes. Oh, but you love to play, don't you? Love to stand at the edge of yesterday, peering in, thinking, if only I had done this differently, maybe I'd be happy now. Maybe they'd still be here. Maybe you'd be somewhere better. But tell me, has it ever helped? Has regret ever built you a future? Or has it only chained you to a past that doesn't give a damn about you? You want the truth? Here it is. You can't rewrite history, can't undo the choices that led you here. The past is already 6 feet under, and yet you keep digging it up. But corpses don't come back to life, darling. They just rot. And if you're not careful, they'll take you with them. Betrayal, the sweetest poison, the sharpest blade, and always from the ones who swore they'd never cut you. That's the trick, isn't it? The ones closest to you, they know exactly where to sink the knife, deep enough to make you bleed, slow enough to make you suffer. But here's the sick part. You still think about them, don't you? The liars, the traitors, the ghosts wearing friendly faces. You replay the betrayal like an old film, frame by frame, trying to understand what you did wrong, what you should have seen, what you could have done differently. But tell me, what's the point? Do you think if you look back hard enough they'll change? That the knife won't still be in your back? No, that's not how this game works. They made their choice, and so should you. The past is a graveyard, my dear, and you keep digging up the bones, holding them close, wishing they were alive. But the dead don't love you. The dead don't care. So why do you waste your breath mourning people who never mourned you? You think going back will bring you closure? That if you just had one more conversation, one more chance to make them see what they lost, see what they did, maybe, just maybe, it'll all make sense? No, they knew what they were doing. They chose to hurt you, and if you give them another chance, they'll do it again. So let them rot. Let them drown in the mess they created. You don't owe them a eulogy, a second chance, or even a damn thought. You're not their savior, you're not their punching bag, and you sure as hell aren't their second option. So stop waiting for an apology that'll never come. Stop carrying dead weight. Stop revisiting graves that should have stayed buried. Closure, that pretty little lie they feed you. You need to hear them out. You need answers. You need to understand. No, you don't. You don't need a damn thing from them. But look at you, standing there, waiting, like a prisoner begging for the key from the very hand that locked the cage. They won't give it to you because they like knowing you're still tangled up in their mess, still rewinding the past, still picking at the wound, still waiting. For what? An apology? An explanation? A magical sentence that makes it all make sense? Please, if they cared, they wouldn't have hurt you in the first place. But here's the real joke. Closure isn't something they can give you. It's not a neat little speech. It's not an apology wrapped in regret. It's a choice. Your choice. To stop chasing ghosts. To stop knocking on doors that'll never open. To stop needing them to make things right, because they won't. And even if they did, it wouldn't change a damn thing. You think hearing why will make the pain go away? That knowing their reasons will stitch you back together? No, it won't. It'll just keep you in chains, keep you stuck. Because you're not really looking for closure, are you? You're looking for a different ending. But life doesn't work that way. So stop waiting. Stop searching for words that will never come. Slam the book shut, toss it in the fire, and walk away while the flames dance behind you. Because that's real closure. Not a conversation, not an apology. You choosing to be free. The past is a deep, black ocean, cold, merciless. It pulls at your ankles, whispers in your ear, just a little deeper, just a little longer. And you listen. You let it tug you under, let it wrap around your throat, let it fill your lungs with memories that burn worse than fire. You ever tried swimming with a chain around your neck? No? Well, that's exactly what dragging your past with you feels like. Heavy, suffocating. Every stroke forward, it yanks you back. Every gasp of fresh air, it pulls you under. And the worst part? The longer you stay there, the more you forget how to breathe. Some people don't even fight it. They let the past swallow them whole. Let it become their excuse, their prison, their identity. I can't move on. I can't forget. I can't be free. Lies. But they believe them. They choose to drown. And once the past has its grip on you, it doesn't let go easy. You think it cares how hard you try? How much you want to change? No. It drags you deeper, The mistakes, the betrayals, the moments you wish you could undo. Every single one adds another link to the chain, and before you know it, you're sinking. Fast. So, tell me, what are you gonna do? Let it take you down? Let it own you? Or are you gonna rip that chain from your neck and swim? Yeah, it'll hurt. Yeah, the weight won't vanish overnight, but every kick, every push forward, every breath of fresh air you steal from its grasp, that's you winning. The past wants you to drown. It needs you to stay broken. Because the second you learn how to float, how to swim, how to rise above it, it loses its power. It becomes nothing but ripples in the water. A story you once knew, a nightmare that no longer owns you. So what's it gonna be? The past or the future? The deep or the sky? The chains or freedom? Tick-tock. The water's rising, and nobody's coming to save you. Swim or sink? They want you to change, but not too much. They whisper in your ear, grow, but stay familiar. Improve, but don't forget who you were. Ha! What a joke. You don't change, you erase. You don't evolve, you burn. And once the fire's done, you rise. Something new, something unrecognizable. People cling to their old selves like a security blanket. Ragged, stained, useless. They hold on to past mistakes, past failures, past versions of themselves like they mean something. But tell me, when has yesterday ever saved you? When has the past ever offered you anything but chains? You want to be free? Then light the match. Destroy the old you, reduce every mistake, every regret, every weak, fragile piece of yourself to nothing but ashes. The world wants you to keep wearing your past like a name tag. Rip it off, set it on fire. Make them forget who you were. Reinvention isn't about becoming better. It's about becoming unpredictable. They thought they had you figured out, thought they knew how your story would end. Oh, but they forgot one thing. You're the one holding the pen now. And this next chapter, it's gonna make their heads spin. You ever seen a phoenix rise from the flames? It doesn't crawl, it explodes. No hesitation, no looking back, no mourning what it used to be. Just pure, unapologetic rebirth. That's what you need. No second guessing, no nostalgia, just obliteration. They'll try to stop you, try to remind you who you used to be, try to drag you back into that graveyard of your past self. But that's not your problem, because the person they're calling for doesn't exist anymore. So, go ahead, burn it all down, the fears, the doubts, the limits they shoved down your throat. Reduce it to nothing, and from those flames, step forward as something new, something untouchable, something they never saw coming. The past, it's a corpse, cold, rotting, useless. But the future? Oh, the future is a blade, razor sharp, unforgiving, and it's waiting, just waiting, for someone bold enough to pick it up and cut through everything that stands in their way. But here's the problem. Most people are too busy digging through the graveyard of their past to notice the weapon in front of them. Clawing at old wounds, wasting time on regrets. Chained to what was instead of seizing what could be. And that's why they stay weak. You want to win? Then stop looking back. The past is dead. It's over. It holds no power unless you let it. But the future? That is something you can carve, shape, and twist into whatever the hell you want, but only if you have the nerve to take it. Most people, they stand at the edge of tomorrow, trembling, unsure, too scared to move forward. They let life happen to them instead of forcing it to bend to their will. But not you. No, no, no. You grab the future by the throat and make it kneel. See, the future doesn't give a damn about your past failures, your heartbreaks, your scars. It doesn't care who betrayed you, who doubted you, who left you bleeding. It only asks one thing. What are you going to do now? Will you wield it? Or will you let it crush you? A blade left unused will rust. An opportunity ignored will vanish. Time doesn't wait, and if you stand there, frozen by ghosts, stuck in your own mind-made prison, the future will grind you into dust, and no one. But if you take control, if you dare to step forward, unshackled, unafraid, you become dangerous. Because a man with nothing to lose is terrifying. But a man who sees the future as his weapon, he's unstoppable. So, what's it gonna be? Keep dragging your past behind you like a corpse? Or sharpen your mind, your will, your very soul into a weapon that can carve through fate itself? Tick-tock. The future is waiting, and it won't wait forever. The past will call. Oh, it will scream. It will crawl its way out of the dirt, bloodied fingers clawing at your ankles, whispering sweet little lies. Come back, just for a moment. Just one more time. But that's the trick, isn't it? Just one more time turns into forever. You step back into that graveyard, and before you know it, you're digging your own hole. Same regrets, same pain, same cycle, and the past, oh, it loves to watch you suffer. It wants you weak, stuck, helpless, because as long as you're looking back, you're not moving forward. You're not growing. You're not becoming the thing they fear you might become, something greater than your pain, something deadlier than your wounds. But if you're smart, if you're truly ready to rise, you won't just ignore the past. You'll burn it. Turn your back and walk away as the ashes settle. And when it cries out for you, when it begs, pleads, howls into the void, you don't answer. Because you're not the same person who once fell. You're not the fool who stayed behind, shackled to memories that don't deserve you. No, no, no. You're something else now. Something sharper. Something relentless. And that's what they never saw coming. They thought you'd stay broken, thought you'd crawl back, desperate for the comfort of the familiar. But you, you did the unthinkable. You left it behind. And now, there's no stopping you. So let the past rot. Let the ghosts scream. Let them choke on their own dust. You've got better things to do. The future is waiting, and it doesn't look back.